very nice to see you. I'm Paulina, your crazy astrology lady. Let's talk about you. Well, yes, you must have heard before that I did say that I feel that the new year is the esoteric new year rather than the numerical one, because I do not feel that Capricorn is the beginning of time. I feel that Aries is the beginning of time. Aries, the baby, coming out of Pisces, that is the lull, the unconscious world that we're in now. As I'm recording this on the 12th of March, it is a full moon in Virgo, yes, and you. And I'm looking forward to this. Let's have a look. I'm sorry the sound is a little bit funny. There's a storm out there, so I hope this works. Okay, so Virgo in this period between March the 21st, 2017 and March the 21st, 2018 is kind of longing and is being kind of given. It's a really interesting warp. It's a very interesting scenario because something so pragmatic and somebody so, I guess, used to getting things right or wrong, 1 or 0 response. It's a binary type of energy. Virgo suddenly understands, releases all that and understands that they want something, they want somebody, or they really need something. They might get a very, very good feeling from somebody or something. They might want to be emotionally involved in an affair, or they might want to be emotionally feeling about a job or emotionally feeling about a cause, and they might be not just like a right or wrong answer about things. There might suddenly be a really big opportunity to really start welcoming things and to start really forming yourself in this world as a neutral worker, but a very feeling person. It's a really, really amazing energy because the demographic of this world is changing. We're shifting in terms of work and career, in terms of what we value and how we want to and do not want to function. And what it leaves us with is definitely the understanding that people are more. People are worthier than the job that we are doing. People are what brings us to ourselves. People are it. People are us. We are people. And I feel this is what you are basically understanding, discovering for yourself this month of March. Up until May. May is looking really good. Very, very nice forward thinking in terms of another person. You kind of already can understand by now, as the end of the year, since Aquarius has shown you what are the soft spots, what are the secret unspoken words, what are the unions between people beyond the unions between people. Why are people together like this, but then they're together like that? Why is this person, say for example, married, but they're still looking at other people? What is that? What is the juice between people that is beyond the normal binary understanding of reality? And I feel for that reason, for that recognition, you are offered a very, very interesting understanding of the world beyond itself. And I feel you might actually find yourself in very interesting circumstances that trial you, and perhaps offer you a system where you might not want to be there. You might want to be something else. You might want to be this, but you're meant to be that. And the person in front of you is not what you used to be interested in. And they might like pull you by the leg, you know. They might feel like really, really like attacking energy, but suddenly in just a few hours they're your best friend. I feel you might find yourself settling in places where you don't think that you should be and thriving. You might actually find that you are meeting somebody who you never sit at the table with, and suddenly they're at your family dinner and they're the best person in the world. You might actually find yourself opening up to different creeds and cultures. I feel this is a really bountiful year for you to start dominating other people's perceptions, even if they are not quite there. So for example, if you've got a friend and they're very racist, and perhaps you've had a racist undertones in your relationship as well from your end, and you might actually start understanding that that person's wrong. I would never want to say that again. Why did I ever say that? And it might start as like a little bit of a slap at your own self. But then you release that, and you might actually want to comment on that friend's remarks and start teaching them and telling them how to be better. Start teaching and telling other people what not to do, especially on your own mistakes based, or your family's mistakes, but especially on your own. Say before, you used to be like, say, a careless person. You used to, say, be a doctor and used to prescribe pills left, right, and center. You'd actually suddenly understand what it does to the body, and you want to prescribe people things differently. You'd want to describe to people exactly what is the right way forward, and it might take you a long time to notice, but we don't care. We don't, and that's hard. So basically with Virgo, you'll have to understand that people will not give you enough. It's a very erroneous thing. They will not give you enough for your passionate new self. They can't see you function in the way that they expect you to. If you're not the binary response that they've always wanted, and you suddenly say getting really passionate about things and you want to show them the world when you only say, for example, a clerk, it would be very, very, very hard for you to swallow that maybe you want to give them a lot more. A perfect example, an art curator. Okay, so for example, you did art history at university and used to be an artist, and now you're an art curator. And before you used to just walk beyond these paintings and go, oh yes, this symbolizes this, and Leonardo da Vinci was going through a phase of his life when he painted this. And suddenly, something this year happens that makes you completely pass all of that information out. I feel all of that information completely gets passed out during this year, as I'm feeling our digestive system and our work and socio-economic system is also changing collectively. And I feel suddenly you're just like, fuck all that. No, I will not talk about art as if it was an old school story. No, I will talk about art and really feel it. I'm going to intuit Leonardo da Vinci, and I'm going to channel him as I'm talking about his artwork. And you'll actually find that there is no place for you to do that yet. And that's not easy. So for example, like if I'm, say, for example, a person who is a writer, and say, even though it's only my Mars and Venus that are in Virgo, I got a Mars-Venus conjunction in Virgo, that still is going to affect me. So if you've got like clusters, you've got planets in Virgo that might actually be about you as well. There might be a situation where you are understanding that your passion ran shallow before, that it wasn't clear. You thought that the 1 and a 0 was a good enough response, the binary response, yes or no, was good, but suddenly you recognize, I feel so much more than that. I know so much more than that. I don't just want to say, teach these kids about music, through the notes. I want them to feel the music. I want them to really understand what music is. And this is a evolutionary jump for you. But erroneously, it won't be noticed up until 2020, I feel. 2020 is like the golden time, I feel, for you guys, where you'll actually be stuck into the right places and people will actually prop you up and let you go up higher than them, even to the point where you got a colleague that wants you to succeed beyond them. But for now, I feel there's a lot of stigma with what you are becoming, and the new emotive part of you, or the new threshold of your evolution, is just not known. It's just like almost like that can't be. It's like a tiger, like a blue tiger, a blue tiger with orange stripes. That can't be. That's not real. And people sometimes elude themselves out of understanding who you are. And for that purpose, because you are greatly stimulated by something outside of your normal spectrum of possibility, I feel you are going to be the it person for people that might not be your best type of people. And that's the irony. Like, say, you might get a person who really gets you and understands you, or a group of people that actually don't have your best interests at heart. Like, they're like, oh, great, tell me more about science. Have another drink on the house. Yeah? Oh, this guy's great. He's talking about quantum physics all the time. And you might actually find that this person just wants to get you drunk, or wants to get you laid, or wants to get you in the group, or wants to get you something, but you will not understand that till later in the year. So definitely, if you're a Virgo, or you got, stellium in Virgo, or you got Sun, Moon, Ascendant, definitely have a practical look at who you are becoming as well, because although you got like this romantic gush of information and this almost like ascension based energy going through you, it's like a eureka, it's like beyond everything that you've ever known this year, I've got a feeling that you've got to really keep your eye on the time. What's the time? Where am I? Who are these people? What do they really want? And you might actually feel really, 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 really claustrophobic with your previous friends, even though they might not get anything about you, but they're like, yeah, here's my house, you can live here. Or like, oh yeah, it'll be really nice to know you more. It'd be really nice to talk about things that we used to talk about. You might not like that. And you might actually feel like, getting up in the morning and going somewhere completely different, going to a different country, like talking to people online, going to a bar, telling like a stranger about what you know, but keep an eye on the people that you are trying to practice your newfound inner spirit with. Like, keep an eye on these people, because they might actually notice you for that gift, maybe, and understand it, but they might actually be fallen people, or they might be people that just aren't going to work with you ever again. It's like after that romantic explosion, that sort of narcissism maybe, or activism runs out of you, they're not going to be there. Or they're not going to be there for long, or they're just thinking about getting you in the sack, and they don't actually really understand you that much at all. So definitely have a very, very good clear thought and clear perspective as to who is around you and what they really want, and also how you're using your time. It's actually a very great time not to really think about time, though. It's like, it's a very interesting time because I feel you are going to get on a roll, and you might not understand it. Like, you might just like burden yourself with this thought. You think, and then suddenly this thought just becomes a sensation, and then overnight you paint a masterpiece. It's just like overnight. But it's sort of something that you carry like a baby with you, or it might be like something that you are, you know, sitting there in front of the window thinking about all the time, and then just in 2 weeks you make a novel, you write a novel or something like that. It's almost like it gathers in the ether, and then it just becomes a big burst. So maybe before you used to work really methodically, you used to have it very thought out as to how you used to bring things to people, how you used to do things around the house. But suddenly there's almost like a stillness and this kind of like unconscious realm, this complete like phenomenal energy of just like, oh, you know, not here, and suddenly, whoa, you know, and you just wake up and you just do something really fast and you ascend really, really quickly. I feel this is a good year for children. I feel it's a really interesting, wonderful time to connect to your child. If you're like, say for example, a mother or father, and you got, say, like a 3-year-old or a 5-year-old, you know, especially when they're quite young, toddlers, and nobody gets your ideas, but tell them something about you. As they go like, I'm actually really passionate about this, or I'm actually quite fond of this, because in a way you are in the same kind of level, because they're newborn, like they're new, and you've got something very new this year about you as well. So you're almost like you're bursting out, or you're gonna burst out a new part of your prism, a new part of yourself. And then, say for example, you talk to them a little bit about simple things like toys, bits and bobs, and they might heal you. They might heal you. A child, I feel, has a lot more healing for you, especially if they are your child, than somebody else at a bar, or somebody else. Like, affairs are possible here. If, say for example, you find that your husband is not listening to you and does not actually understand your story, but he's a really hospitable person, he's a beautiful person, he's going to be there for you, like, you know, till the cows come home, till forever. He's going to be there for the rest of your life. You've got a really good person in your life. And then you go, he doesn't understand what my spirituality is about. And then you might find somebody who does understand your spirituality. But they're a little bit of like a venomous spider. You know, that person doesn't actually want you forever. They just want you for the night, or they want you for the trip, just to see how far they can get you out of your mind. And that is it. You know, so basically have a look at that. And also I'm feeling that people can see how far the cookie crumbles, like how far the road takes you. They want to see how far you can go. For example, if you're like me and you're like prophesizing, you might actually find people really want to listen to you, but they just sit you down and go, okay, what else you know, what else you know, what else you know, what else you know. And they're just sitting there and they're almost looking at you like they're sick of you, or they're like sick of that part of you that can generate information constantly. And you actually know, you actually become a know after a while. It's like, I'm just a talking parrot for this person. I'm not actually a worthy human being for them at all. And things like that can sort of like come to conclusions by the end of May. I feel you'll possibly start understanding what that is, to be taken advantage of like that, or to be like a talking parrot, or to be like eye candy without having any value to your word for somebody. You'll start understanding what that is. And I'm feeling also for many of you guys, as it is for me to an extent, because of Mars and Venus in my chart and Virgo, lots of people will ponder about you things that are not really clear. Like, you might actually find that lots of people ponder about you. You might actually find it really, really disassociating that your friend will not know who you are when you're actually talking about you. You might actually say, well, you know, I feel like this, and they might associate you with a totally different presence than you are, or you might actually get misconstrued so much when you actually understand that person knows nothing about me. And that's really hard for you, especially when it comes to close family and friends, close connections, especially with your loved ones. Definitely, when you actually understand that this time that I've known this person, they only knew like the tip of the iceberg, and for some reason through my binary experience of life I was quite content with it, but suddenly you kind of get that that is it. That's as far as it goes for this person. No matter how much time you spend to them understanding each other, with them understanding each other, you will not break through. You will not gain more understanding of them, and they will just not understand more of you. And that's a really good chance to go. I feel that it'll happen quite often because you're almost like a soul searcher this year, Virgo. You'll understand that people are not really, how can I say, it'll be hard because there'll be some people that are really worth your time and they'll be there through space and time. They're really committed to you, like your family, and you'll want to walk away because you don't understand the point of your progress or the point of your success in this lifetime, as it's sort of becoming a little bit clearer now. But it's not, it's just a childhood part of you returning. It's like a very fresh shoot of you. It's very young, this energy is very young. It's not quite mature yet to really be what it wants to be. But then again, also watch for those people who like come and go through your life. These people that come and go and they're into you energetically, and they think that they know what you want, or they think that you know what you are, but they will not take anything that you do seriously. And they're not really loyal to you. They're not going to keep on going. So definitely with these kind of people, understand who they are. And understand, like, see the people that will not nurture your greater being and laugh at you when they got the chance. Laugh at you or snicker behind your back, or find some kind of a grotesque way of turning you into just a toy, or turning you into just a friend, or turning you into just a silly little person who's confused in their mind. Look for those people, and don't torture yourself over the fact that you can't explain to them exactly what you're going through. Just let them go, and let them be their own selves. And maybe you'll actually understand that the more you let people go, surprisingly, the more they want you back, or the more you kind of release people. Just, okay, this is not working. You release the people. You'll actually understand that they're sort of like bouncing back, and there's an interesting cycle when they like come back to you as a guru later, instead of like coming back to you as a friend. It's not a really good time to master a skill. How can I say? Okay, you've been sewing. Okay, you've been sewing clothes. And then you decided, I'm going to be a person who does paintings now. I'm going to be an artist. And you decide that, for example, you had a very spiritual experience looking at a painting in your friend's lounge, and you thought, oh my God, that is actually getting under my skin. I'm going to master art. Not a good idea to master anything too far out there. So, for example, if you haven't been writing for 2 or 3 years, to go now and say, I'm going to be a master poet, it's not a great idea. So even if you've been doing something for a while, Virgo, you are likely not going to be the big fish just yet. And that is really good, because it's actually not a really good time to be the practical computer. Don't be the computer this year like you usually are. Like, it's not a good time to be the practical person who gets the results. It's actually a much better time to be the person that doesn't know yet what they are, that doesn't know yet what they want, just like a child is like unsure yet as to what it all means. That's the kind of energy that you're learning to be in, and residing in to the point where you're completely comfortable and confident with it. In other news, relatability is hard. People will buy you or sell you. That's another thing. I feel if you say, for example, an artist, or like you do something that is feeling like you're selling a part of yourself, you'll find that people just kind of pass you on. Like, they pass on your business card, and there's not a lot of answer back. You know what I mean? Like, people get your service, and maybe you love like making, like, say, cupcakes and selling them at a fair, but people just don't give you the comment. They just pass your card to another person. That person buys some more. But there's not enough human compatibility. There's not enough human connection for what you want to do. And erroneously, what you want to do, I feel, this year is definitely human. And it's definitely earthbound, and it's very, very feeling. But for some strange reason, some strange conclusion, reality doesn't give you that ultimate feeling of success where people are like, oh my gosh, I get what you're doing. They're just not going to give you that. Like, and no matter how hard you try, I feel success will come to you in anonymous terms. Anonymous things happen. Like, say, if you're a practitioner, people will just give you the money. They'll just show up. But at the end, you don't know whether they enjoyed the session, they did not enjoy the session, what they thought about it. But 2 weeks later, they send their brother in for a session. And that person is not sure either. People will come as you've been activated definitely through the last transit of Jupiter in your sign. You're still there, you know, you will gain. but people will not give you the kind of like commemorations. They will not give you the admiration and the disciplined bow that you probably expect from people. As you are a disciplined person, you think people should write to me and say that I'm good at this, but they just kind of cut out, and you become almost like a talking face, or you become almost like a speculating energy that people can't really connect to an emotional part of them yet, but they will. Anyway, thank you very much, Virgo. I hope this has been a fun ride for you. I'm looking forward to hearing more about you and of your progress this coming year. And yes, I'd love to talk to you or write to you or channel for you if you'd like a session. Let me know and subscribe. Thanks a lot. Bye.